Hey YouTube, we're gonna hopefully plant some corn in the next week or two. What I was going to do today is do some servicing, and I thought I'd show you a few servicing points. So as you guys already know from watching videos, I rebuilt this. I meant to tell you, here's what the book calls for. High trans fluid here, high trans fluid here, and high trans fluid in the gearbox. Do I do that? No, I did put high trans fluid in here. I will put high trans fluid in the hydraulics, but I'm gonna put 90 weight gear oil in the gearbox. We're gonna change oil today, and I'll show you a few places. Let me show you here something to keep in mind. On the, well, I'm gonna go get the adjustable real quick. On the gear, on the hydraulic, what I have done on the hydraulic, the book calls for this thing to take 6 3/4 pints of high trans fluid. I take the fill plug off, and there's the drain plug. If there is a check plug, I don't know it. So what I have always done is stuck my finger right there, about that far in there, and if I can't feel no fluid on my finger, which I can't, I put some in there until I can feel fluid. So my pinky in the hole till I can touch fluid, and if I figure my finger's probably going about right there in there. So that's what I do there. The gearbox is 1 gallon of technically high trans fluid, but I use gear oil. I'm not telling y'all what to do. You can check it. I most of the time, every 2 years, I just drop all the fluid out of it and put a gallon of fresh fluid in it. If you want to check it, it's kind of tricky to get to. Where is it at, Will? Oh, it's right here behind this rod. So you got to take this rod right here and drop it down, and I'm trying to get it where you guys can see it, but there's a little keyway right here that you put like a 3/8 drive in. It's a little small square keyway right here, and it's behind this rod. You have to take that rod down, and you can check the fluid there. Hold on, Will. Where's that keyway at? Yeah, there, that's it, right there. Behind that rod right there. Are you still filming? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said that right. The drain plug for this thing is back here. So they just take a 1/2 inch drive. The one that checks it it's actually a little less square than a 3/8 drive. All right, she's back in there. To fill it, guys, it's right here. If you ain't had one serviced in a long time, you'll know it, because that bad boy right there will be tight. There we go. So we're just going to put a gallon of gear oil in there and be done with it. And then I don't have to worry about whether it's low or not. I do have a Napa oil filter on this thing. I did find a part number for a Napa, not a Napa, a Fram oil filter. And the part number for spin on 140, can you get that? P3317. You have to order it from like AutoZone.com. The AutoZone store doesn't carry it. Of course, you might be able to get it from like Amazon or something too. Napa has an oil filter for a 142. Or you can get the IH filter. But like I said, the capacity of this crankcase, and it's actually varies by half a quart whether it has a pulley on it or not. So it's I told you guys wrong, it's 4.5 quarts with a dry shaft, 5 quarts with a pulley and a dry shaft, 4 quarts with none of this. So I got to get a half more quart. So we'll put a half of this in there, and that should top it off. Hoping the weather will be right for us the next couple of days. I'm very hopeful to get into some ground maybe. Get ready to get some corn planted. The steering was a learning experience. I'm not a steering expert or anything, but I sure know more now than I did when I started. And it wasn't that hard to pull that front end of that tractor off. Not what I was expecting. All right, let's drop some oil on this thing. Ow. Book says 5 quarts on this. Well, I'm gonna go get that rag. Okay, I'm back. I don't know where I was on the video, but I had a neighbor pull up, and as I was talking to my neighbor, I looked down and I seen radiator fluid leaking from the tractor, so I took the front of the tractor back off and tightened up a couple of clamps, and if it's still leaking, it's a drop every 10 minutes. So for right now, we'll take it and we'll let it heat up and see if it'll expand some and maybe it'll seal on off. But change the oil, 5 quarts of oil, and I haven't even checked the dipstick yet. Let's see. It's showing, well, let's see. It's showing it could use about a half or more quart, but it's all right for right now. I'll put a half in it later on. So I put a gallon of gear oil in here. I check the bull gears on the bottom, and I do them again kind of like the hydraulic fluid, sticking my finger in it. And so other than hopefully that radiator leak will stop, and it's certainly not dripping like it was. So hopefully it'll stop and we'll just go from there. Thank y'all for watching again. I just thought I'd give you a little quick, overview of servicing it. We'll see you.